Late in the afternoons around in your yard or in the pasture, and what they're doing is they're laying eggs. After they lay those eggs, they generally lay those eggs in the real fertile type grass, maybe around an old cow lot, or organic matter's real good. They lay those eggs there, maybe under a tree. And after so many days of the eggs laying there, they'll hatch out. The little old worms are probably not even bigger than your eyebrow when they hatch out, real small. Those worms, all they do is eat. And they'll start eating. They call them armyworms because they kind of go like an army. Just go from one place to another place. And they'll start out in a little spot, and you won't notice them. And all of a sudden, when you notice them, they'll have you nearly eat up because they're eating. And they do the most damage during the last week of their life. And after a week, they'll pupate, which means they go in the ground. And then when they come out of the ground, there'll be a little white moth. And that's, the process starts over again. And they'll start laying eggs. And generally they move from the south to the north. We hear about them in Madisonville, in Centerville, and in Buffalo. Somehow or another they skipped us this year. They went to Dallas and Fort Worth. They have them up there now. People have them in their yards, and all of a sudden they come in the yards and they eat up. They don't know what it is. So the bad part about it is a lot of people don't know anything about them, and they'll have a pasture or a yard eat up before they even know they got them. And they'll say, I got a problem out here, I don't have any grass. So the armyworms don't eat all the grass up. But they done pupate, they don't see anything because they pupate, they went in the ground. And then when they hatch out, they're little moles and they start back over again. They're real easy to kill. They've got chewing mouth parts, so you have to use something that will kill them when they chew it. Which we have several insecticides. Some of them I'm not familiar with, but old timers use 7 dust. And then you use malathion. And they got some new ones back there that you have to have a license to buy. You can use the surrender for yards. It's got acephate in it. And I think a pound of it will do, I think it's about a quarter pound an acre, so it'll do a lot. The acephate. There's bifenthrin is a real good one. We have bifenthrin on the shelf out there, but they just nearly kill them instant. They're easy to kill. But if you're spraying out there and you miss a spot, those worms are going to stay alive in that one spot until they run over it into another spot. Most of the stuff you have to have a license for. And the computer's set up to where you can't buy it unless you have a license number on the computer. But there is 2 or 3 that you can buy. Permethrin, you can use it. Malathion, you can use it. And maybe 7 dust, or liquid 7, carburetor, you can use it. Of course, the directions, you just have to read on there how much you put per acre. You can put a surfactant in there with it. Surfactant helps it spread on the leaf, helps it penetrate the leaf. And you can spray it, better spray it kind of late in the afternoon because they do most of their eating at night. But you know, it rains on it within so many hours, it washes it off. That's all over it. There's some of the products, and I don't know if you got them back there right now or not, kind of rain fast. And so you put them on there and it rains, it doesn't hurt it. But they hit hard and then they're gone. But where you see them the most time is when somebody cuts hay and then the grass comes back real fresh and tender. That's when the worms come in. And generally they're called fall armyworms, but they're here a little early this year. So a lot of people don't even know they have them right now. Or they got coastal that hadn't been cut yet, and they probably, they're real small when they start out. But then when they get big, mature, they're big enough to go on a worm, you pick fish with, like the cobble worms. They're good sized worms then. Yeah, but they don't last long. Like I say, they got a process. They get a certain size, they pupate, which means they go down in the ground.
Right.
And they stay down there like a little cocoon. They hatch out back to a little moth.
Yes, sir.
So it starts all over again.
So generally a little later in the summer,
Generally,
earlier
they call it fall armyworms. Generally, it's, about, I don't know, September, October.
Right.
After a long, hot, dry summer, it comes a rain, it kind of freshens back up in the fall, grass gets green, that's when you generally see those things.
Okay.
Until frost or come to freeze and then they're gone.
Yes, sir.
People planting oaks, they hit an oak patch and it's gone before they even know it.
Yep. fall, when they plant, like Ernie said, when they plant their oats, ryegrass in the fall, and they want to plant them early, get them up. Those things come in.
People come up from Houston, plant 5 acres of oats.
Exactly what I was
Go
gonna
back
say.
to Houston, they come back to next, there's nothing but bare
They
ground.
come in and say your oats wasn't no good, they didn't come up. Well, they don't come up, they got to eat up, and they don't come back.
Yes, sir.
Coastal will come back, but oats won't come back, wheat won't come back. All right, any questions?